gentlemen, you're listening to the Mackay T Show podcast. Here are your hosts, Brian Mackay and T Davis.
This is the Mackay T Show. This is the Mackay T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah, you can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.
Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. As we start the show off, we'll get into our March Madness, our NCAA tournaments. We'll get into all that in a moment. I want to start the show off as a few things that have happened since we've been off the air the last couple weeks in La La Land with T's Los Angeles Lakers. And
hey, here you go.
I'm not going to really delve into, them shutting it down and they're not making the playoffs. So this one's having surgery, that one's having surgery, LeBron's getting a minute restriction, blah, blah, blah. I just want to speak on one thing that really had nothing to do with any of that. This one is just about Mr. James himself.
Okay.
And this is a little dated now because it's been a couple weeks, but when he passed Michael Jordan on the all-time scoring list, this is why those who, constantly out there hating on LeBron, this is why they do it. Because of the way he reacted to that. This man scores the basket to pass Michael Jordan. Like third or fourth on the list? Not first. Third, fourth on the list. Passes Michael Jordan. He does his little stupid thing that I can't stand where he's pumping his hands up and does that little dance and then he starts bawling, crying in the middle of the game. All this to celebrate him passing Michael Jordan and his team, who at the time was still in the playoff race, was down by 16 points. These are the things I cannot stand about this man.
Why?
He just so...
Why can't he celebrate and be happy that he just passed? Probably, I don't want to use the word idol, but he clearly looked up to him because he's talked about that's one. Most of these guys will tell you that Michael Jordan is one of the reasons they play basketball.
Yeah, I'm understanding all that, but I just feel like when your team is down by 16 points, if you passing a milestone, be happy, be in the moment, but don't make it a full-on parade when you still got things to do. You still got a business to take care of. I just feel
what
like
business? You really thought they was gonna make the playoffs after they lost?
I'm just saying, at the time they were still in the.
No, he knew it. You knew it. Everybody knew. After they kept losing, they can say the right thing. We all knew they weren't making no playoffs.
And
they can't say, well, we just gonna throw in the towel.
And
they have to say the right thing.
I said I wasn't gonna say all the stuff that has come out. I wasn't gonna talk about it. And if you wanted to bring it up, you could, but I'm gonna bring it up. I don't really know, because I never did actually listen to the comments that Walt Frazier said.
Walt has several seats. Go ahead.
Yeah, but somebody had posted a list, and I tried so hard to find it this morning before we got on air, and I couldn't. On Twitter, it's one of the sports writers. I think it's like Pat 40 maybe or somebody like that. He posted a list of different things that people say about LeBron, and a lot of the list was him not being a great teammate, this, that, and that. And the one true thing that I actually agreed with on the list was the part about him basically not wanting to be coached. But I agreed with it. But at the same time, I wanted to tweet at whoever the sports writer was. I can't remember his name. I wanted to tweet at him and say, Yeah, but that's majority of the NBA. LeBron is more prevalent when you see things like that because of him being LeBron. And he's
Okay,
got...
so let's take a step back.
Okay.
We're going to take a step back. Shout out to Larry who brought this to my attention. Now imagine, never in your life have you had a coach that would full on tell you, oh, you need to do this, baby, you need to do that. Not in high school, middle school. You didn't go to college. Not when you first got in the NBA. Maybe the closest would have happened when he was in Miami. So you've gone all these years being the best player on the team, probably the best player on the court, and sporadically, every blue moon in the summer, every 4 years or so, you might play with Coach Krzyzewski or somebody that can actually, that you would look up to and actually listen to what they say. How is it now we giving the expectation? Because I haven't really cared about the coaching part. There's been other stuff that he's done that irks me. But how is there an expectation now that he's going to listen to? Like, Matt, I mean, if we saying it, the whole NBA saying it. Luke has not proven himself. Like, I think he probably is a good coach and will be, at some point, a better coach. But we can't base it off what he did with the Warriors.
And we both know that's why he got that job.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So now there's this expectation that LeBron should listen to him. Like, if we, Smo Joe is saying this, like regular people on the street, the league where it's actually happened, people that are like getting all, like they have played the game, they have played under coaches, they all have that same, like, dude, you can't tell, like, come on, man.
No, I agree.
We give him a hard time, but part of it is his environment. Like, he's not had a coach to be like, no, we're not doing it that way. Even if they think he's right, he's not had a high school coach or even when he first came to the league, like they were loving him so much, and he wasn't listening to Brown and whoever else was at Cleveland. And again, I don't know how much he listens to Spoelstra either. The whole bump incident. So he's not had to be under a coach that he respected. You look at Michael Jordan. Michael, I'm sure, respected Phil on some level, even before, like, he wanted the three. But I'm definitely after they had that first three run, he would respect them. Kobe, he didn't care nothing about the coaches either until Phil came. We're going to look back and be like, oh, we were very hard on LeBron, and we didn't enjoy the moment and enjoy how good of and I can even say great of a player he is. And the media just jumps on any little thing that, like him sitting that far on the bench. Right. If you look at the whole scene, I was like, are they in a timeout? Like, what is happening? Like, because nobody was really in a huddle. It was some players that were clustered a little bit further away from him, but I didn't see a coach. I saw like a couple of players standing, a couple was sitting, and I was like, what's happening with the whole bench scene? Why are we just pointing out the fact that he's sitting down there, chilling, talking to his teammates that's in dress clothes?
Oh, yeah, Tyson Chandler.
Yes. Yeah, because he's LeBron James. And anytime he do anything wrong, they just ready to pounce on, or they deem to be wrong. Because later on, somebody else showed highlights that the two seats that he left, Ball and what's the other guy named? Lance Stevenson, they were sitting in those seats. Mm-hmm. So we make a big deal out of a lot of this. Now, I would say I have a problem with you bringing alcohol to work. That's another story for another time. But some of this stuff that we be on him, we just buy into what the media be saying, and they just trying to get ratings.
Yeah, somebody put out there that ESPN might as well be LeBron James network because everything he does shows up on there. I mean, if
any of them, look at First Things First, Fox and them, Skip and Shannon, they always, and the Lakers not even relevant. They not making the playoffs, but they were talking about him sitting on the end of the bench, or something else happened. I was like, why are we even talking about the Lakers? Like, they not making the playoffs. Like, why are we even talking about them? Oh, because of LeBron James.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was a story out where he is supposedly quoted as saying that he believes, at the end of the day, not making playoffs is going to be a good thing for them. I didn't really get I didn't really see all his points on that, but I somewhat agree because now you can kind of sit back, reassess, which probably they should have done. I think they kind of jumped the gun when they saw they had a chance to sign him. This past off season, they didn't really assess the rest of their roster going forward. As far as what moves they were going to make. I think they jumped the gun. They signed a bunch of veterans on these 1-year deals, and it just didn't work out the way they thought it was going to. Now you got a chance to sit back, see everything, and I don't care what people say. People are going to be upset that they traded D'Angelo Russell now because
they had to get rid of that money, and the only reason that was the deal breaker. Like that was aiming them to get rid of that offer contract because that was a 4 or 5 year, 20-something million or something crazy amount of money contract for some center scrub center.
Timothy Mozgov, even on his best day, was not worth that contract.
So that was really what that was about. Now we can always say, "Oh well, look at D'Angelo now." We had nobody saw that coming. We all knew that he had a big it was bust or be a superstar. Like that was his spectrum. You remember they had that little rating?
Oh yeah.
That he either gonna be a superstar or he gonna be a bust.
Yeah.
The first couple of years he didn't look good, then he threw his teammate under the bus. And so y'all all stopped tripping, like y'all knew that this young man was gonna flourish and become the player he's becoming.
Right. Yeah. You have anything else you want to add on your Laker front since we're here?
Well, we getting Zion. We're gonna get the number 1 ball. We're gonna be lucky to get the number 1 ball. The bounce of the ball is gonna
so y'all getting the Patrick Ewing bounce.
Yes, we're gonna get the Patrick Ewing bounce. And it will be interesting just to see would they keep it or would they still be trying to go after AD. There's no way you trade that pick, right? There's no way you trade that pick. An 18-year-old, I could care less about AD. Again, he's injury prone, and that's my cousin. But I cannot pass up an 18-year-old, super athletic. I mean, he has a well-rounded game. Yes, he can shoot enough that you're not gonna be worried about. Oh, will he ever be able to shoot? Like, will he stop just everything at the basket?
Right.
Like, no, there's no way you trade that. Right? Wrong.
I don't believe. I just don't believe that you do. For the reasons you said, Anthony Davis, great player, but he does come up lame, and maybe it's because he's got a lot on him. But at the same time,
people, why y'all keep saying that? And I'm saying y'all loosely, because you're not the first person that when I've made this comment. Oh, well, he got so much. It's plenty of people that have this burden and they don't wind up get gimpy every game, every other game. Something happens.
Some people just is built different.
Injury prone.
Yes,
he one of them.
It ain't. I mean,
It might run in the family. Because I remember one of the trainers used to tell me, "See, you're an accident looking for a place that happened." Because I would always get, but it wasn't stuff that didn't keep me from playing, but it was always a nick, a thumb, or jam finger, or ankle, or something, little stuff that it was always something. At least one season it was like that. And she told me that, and I was laughing. I was like, yeah, I am in here a lot, aren't I?
I've heard you tell me that story before. That's funny.
So maybe the Davis that's part of our thing. But if we get that, no, I don't think we will. But if we were, because stranger things have happened, and the way we losing, we got a better chance of getting a decent ball this year. I don't think we have to trade it, do we? It don't belong to anybody else, does it?
I don't think so. No, I don't think they're tied up in anything.
So I think, and again, sometimes LeBron says stuff that other people probably should say on his behalf. I think it's good that he is missing the playoffs personally, one, so he can rest. Two, so maybe he'll have some kind of like, cause he really hasn't had much motivation, right? He won his rings. He did what he wanted to do in Cleveland. Now his new motivation is to get the Lakers to the playoffs and to show everybody that he's still the king. So he's going to work. He got to slim down. I feel like he's too big. He's got to slim down.
Yeah, he need to get back on that green
get
juice.
More lean muscle and not mass, because one is it'll help your knees not to be carrying all that weight. And you got just a lot of tread on tires, but I think that's going to help him. The Lakers. I mean, I know they didn't make good picks around him, but at the end of the day, they are still trying to play Golden State Warrior ball or Houston ball. And I'm not mad at Houston because that's the style of play that their coach has always played. So they're not even mimicking the Golden State Warriors like a lot of teams are.
Right.
However, they should have looked at running some triangle. Because, again, I pulled up old footage of the Lakers running it. And they shot plenty of threes. And I mean, even if you just think back to Robert Horry and Derek Fisher and
Rick Fox.
Pretty Ricky, yes. They always, like, in that offense, you had 3-point shooting opportunities. And so I don't know why, and I've told you this, nobody's revisited running the triangle.
No, it's just flooring to me. When you saw how much success it had year after year after year.
And so it's had so much 9 championships of success.
11.
What were the other 2?
Well, Phil came back and won 2 more with Kobe.
Oh, that's right. That Phil, I forgot he was the coach again when we had the Gasol.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, it won 9 championships, and yeah, now everybody want to just shoot the 3 and just be like, all of y'all can't shoot like this. But okay, keep shooting it. Doc Rivers, I don't really know. I ain't never watched the Clippers. I'm just gonna be paying much, but they finding a way to win. So I think some of the Lakers' problem, besides injury, it was coaching.
Yeah.
And so people keep talking about him going to UCLA. That's awful. But does UCLA have a job opening that I don't know about? Did that coach get fired?
I think so. I was thinking it was either them or USC because at one point Rick Pitino's name was pulled up in it. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, they're going to let him back in that quick. Doubtful. He better stay over there in Greece.
Luke Delderby, I don't know that he want to go there, but that's his dad is all stumping grounds. It ain't his. He went to Arizona.
Right.
He'll have Sharif or whatever Jack's kid is at least for one season.
Hopefully
he'll come back from the heart surgery.
Right.
Yeah, interesting. Should be interesting. What do you think they're gonna try to get for their next coach?
For the Lakers?
Yeah.
I don't know.
People keep saying stuff like Jason Kidd. I'm like, hell, he ain't do nothing with the Greek Freak. How is he gonna coach LeBron? Like that was a disaster. And now Milwaukee flourishing since he been gone. I want Mark Jackson.
He would be a great one.
But they don't really care what I want. I need to call Magic. Like I got Magic on speed dial.
I need Magic on the main line.
This is what I think you stupid. They saying, and that's another thing. We don't know what be going on. We just have to go by a bunch of hearsay when Steven and Skip or whoever the report is that we read an article on. Because they saying that Magic know who he want. And I'm just like, oh, Lord have mercy, this is scary. Because Magic, you in your first 2 seasons, after a while, I can't give you no pass.
And let's not forget, it didn't go well when Magic tried to take over the sidelines.
Well, coaching is one thing. What I'm confused about, does the president... I thought the general manager did more of these decisions. Not the coaching, but like players. But they had like Pelinka. What his name ain't Pelinka? What's it?
Yeah, Pelinka.
Pelinka. I had put Palinka with the game on the what's the game on where you drop the little things? Plinko.
I know what you. I'm looking at it.
I had put Plinko together.
Yes.
Oh Lord, Palinko, he don't have no power. It don't seem like they be just acting like he ain't making no decision. They keep saying Magic. I be like, is Magic the person that will play a personnel?
I feel like when you have a big name as the team president or whatever, I feel like their name gets lumped in with the general manager duties.
Because they always like, they ain't never said, Palinka needs to make a better whatever decision about next year. They just be like Magic, and I'll be like, okay.
Right.
Because if that's the case, Palinka could have stayed an agent, and Magic could have did both jobs. Of course, he couldn't because he got the Dodgers and all the other his hand and all this other stuff. But still,
yeah, he's basically owning LA at this point.
So yeah, the bottom line for me is I am trying to learn to be a better sit back and wait for more information. Not just about basketball, but just stuff that be popping up. Be like, okay, let me see what else happened because this is this one piece out of context, and then I jumped the gun. But we're gonna look back, and I use "we" loosely, and just be like, we should just be sitting back and enjoying, and not just the ESPN, the media, and all that. They should just be enjoying what he's doing. Like while Zion is coming, like we don't know what Zion really gonna wind up being, and this is not something that we've seen before.
No, this is the one in a lifetime type of.
And we just kind of skipping over Curry. Like that's not something that we'll probably ever see again. Somebody that can shoot the ball that well, just flat out shoot the ball.
I always wondered like how long this new, because there is a change, a dynamic. And he started it with the way he could just shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
And you see more teams out there, with shooters and just shooting James Harden's. You see more teams out there trying to mimic that. And I wondered how long that would last.
Have to change. Somebody gonna be like, okay, that was nice, but we don't have that. Like I had this, shout out Larry again. So me and him, and I don't want to say heated, we had an intense conversation about the Lakers roster.
Mm-hmm.
And while I understand they need and should have pursued more shooters, I kept saying, who are these people? Like teams that have shooters, we're not going to be giving them up. Those people weren't going to be free agents. And so the conversation, even for ESPN and others, they should have got more shooters. Who are they? Who are these people that you think they could have got that would have made a difference?
Right.
We've seen Bullock, he ain't as good as because somebody, Kenny Smith was like, he can shoot it. Bullock don't seem to be that great of a shooter to me. Like, when you tell me shooter, I'm looking for Reggie Miller, Jesus Shuttlesworth. Like, that's what I'm, like, Steve Kerr, Hodges, Stockton, not Stockton. What's the other guy that played? Paxton. Like, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Well, there ain't a lot of these people out here.
No.
And if the team got them, they not just trying to get rid of them.
No, that's a piece that you try to hold on to there.
Right. So who are these people that they thought that the Lakers could? Again, the roster could have been put together well, but who are these shooters that they thought that they could get?
I mean,
you better not say Kyle Korver. Right, Kyle Korver.
No. He tried that in Cleveland. It didn't work out.
And I can't even think of anybody else.
Yeah, I can't.
So they could have did a better job putting together the roster. And I would say they should have kept Brook Lopez instead of getting the kid from the Warriors. Brook liked to shoot threes, and he was decent at it, and he was big. Like, you had a piece on your team already. They weren't going to keep the lefty from Kentucky because they were trying to save money. and he was a contract year. Anyway, so good luck, Magic. You need to do a better job of you and Palenko. You and Palenko. The deal. Let's not make a deal. Is it The Price is Right?
Yes.
Price is Right. Y'all out there with Plinko people. Y'all better get that right.
Plinko.
Plinko years ago.
Anyway, let's transition horribly to the NCAA tournament.
No, it ain't horrible. Zion Williamson.
Yes. So
do we think he gonna lead Dukies to a national title?
That I was gonna just kind of take it region by region and just kind of go over, possible matchups we might see, and then leading into the Final Fours picks. But in the East region, since you're talking about Zion, let's start with Duke.
Why wouldn't we start with the number 1 seed?
Correct. I'm pulling hard. I'm pulling hard against VCU on that first day because I want to see Duke UCF only because Johnny Dawkins coaches at UCF, and I'd love to see him go up against Coach K.
His old coach.
Yes.
Mm.
So I think that
I feel like I had VCU winning that, and I don't know why. I just picked them. I don't know why I picked them. Because Smart is not there anymore. Shaka.
Let's see. State. I got them winning that first round game against Liberty.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech. I got them moving on.
Yeah.
My first upset, I picked Belmont against Maryland. After they won last night, I watched them a couple times this year.
Belmont to beat Temple.
Well, good, because they did.
Okay.
LSU, I don't know at what point they're going to explode, or implode, I guess I should say. But with all the things,
right, they got the coach situation.
Yes, surrounding their coach, I just feel like that's what hurt them. Well, no, what hurt them?
Can we take a time out? What happened with their coach? I'm not really sure. I just know something happened.
It more has to do with his previous stops.
Allegedly. Wink, wink.
Well, no. It more has to do with his previous coaching stops more than it does LSU. I think it may be involved like one or two players at LSU. But he is caught up in this, this whole FBI investigation. He is on a wiretap discussing payments for players. Yeah. So.
See, I keep telling y'all, when I say this is not a secure line, I mean it. Go ahead.
Just rounding out the rest of that region, I think it was very interesting that the NCAA tournament put Louisville against Minnesota, considering that's old Rick Pitino's son coaching in Minnesota against his dad's old team. And Michigan State.
I'm sure they didn't care about that, Brian. You digging way too deep.
Michigan State, obviously, I'm on record. Tom Izzo, his team perform come March, even though you keep shooting me down on that. His team
you
come.
You and Larry, like they are solid, but y'all had like they be in the Final Four or something every year. I got Michigan and Duke. I think I got Michigan State and Duke.
I do.
Final Four. I mean, to fight for the Final Four spot.
I got Duke.
I'm skipping all the rest you saying.
Yeah, I got Duke.
What bracket we going?
Okay, next, let's run. We'll just go down.
I'm sorry. Did you say you had somebody different?
No, I got Duke going. Duke beating Michigan State to round out that break. In the West, this is where I get real. I'm just stuck on how they're playing right now, and I got your Gators making a run.
Well, me too, just because they my Gators. But go ahead.
I just feel like things could break their way because everybody in TV land wants that boy from Murray State to make a run at the top of this bracket, which I predict them doing. But I feel like it's going to end because I just feel like they got a perfect setup. If they can find a way to get by Michigan, which Michigan is beatable this year. They're not the Michigan that was in the Final Four last year. Still a very good Michigan, but not the same as you won. That's been the last couple of years. And Florida is playing. Florida should have been in the SEC championship game, or at least had a chance
let's
to.
not talk about the costing of my player at
That
half
boy
court
got fouled. He should have got his 3 free throws and gone into overtime. But
he might have missed one, but still,
he might have.
them to call that.
But they should have gave him the opportunity to miss.
Right. I want them to call the costing of the player at half court. I mean, I'm like, 3 people found him. Y'all couldn't just pick one.
So I got Florida making a run there, and I got them playing Murray State in the Elite Eight, and then moving on to the Final Four, where he'll play against Duke. And
hold on, do we have different brackets?
What you mean?
So hold on, I'm missing something. Murray State, Florida wouldn't play
in the West. Murray State's 12 seed against Marquette, and Florida's at the bottom of that bracket.
Murray State is up at the top of the bracket. They would have to meet to go for all of it.
They would meet in the Elite Eight to go to the Final Four.
That's what you think?
Yeah.
Murray State gonna make it that far?
Oh yeah, I'm telling you.
You think Murray State gonna beat Gonzaga?
That kid is good, and Gonzaga is very beatable. St. Mary's proved that because they laid down in their little conference championship game against St. Mary's. And I really believe.
I don't even think Murray State gonna beat Florida State.
It could happen. I'm telling you, it could happen.
And if it was Fifth, we'd all be drunk. Go ahead.
Shoot, they got Florida State as a possible loser in their first round game on ESPN as a possibility. 29%.
Florida State for the first time this weekend because I watched some of the Big Ten or the ACC Big Tens. I think those were the 2 teams they had on CBS, and they got good size. Go ahead. I don't even like. I can't. I'm not really a Florida State fan, but just my basketball self is saying Murray State. That guy might be good, but he ain't. They gonna need more than him.
I enjoy watching him play, so I'm right there with you.
You just want to keep watching.
Yes, he's very good. Let's go on up to the South. So that gives us Duke.
So hold on, you saying? I said Florida was gonna beat Michigan too. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I got Florida going all the way to the Final Four.
My surprise team is that Buffalo was gonna come out of that bracket over there.
Another good pick. I got them winning a couple of games. Buffalo.
And then I had them losing to Florida.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I got Duke and Florida on that side of the bracket.
Okay.
Moving up south. Everybody's saying that Virginia has the best chance to get to the Final Four.
Virginia don't look good.
No, they don't at all.
Everybody else, I saw them play. They didn't look good. Okay, go ahead.
And maybe they just didn't want to play in the conference tournament anymore. I don't know. But they did not look well at all.
They didn't look good at all. I was like, they supposed to be good? What?
My focus in this bracket is more at the bottom. The Tennessee-Cincinnati winner has a really good chance of making a run. If those 2 teams wind up meeting. Because Cincinnati is a very good team. And Tennessee...
I don't know that... Yeah.
Tennessee is very good.
And Villanova don't scare you, and Purdue won't scare... they could come out of that bracket. And they're 2 seeds, so they should.
And let me tell you about an upset that's going to happen on the 22nd of March. We got...
Hold on, let me see. Let's see. Upset. The 22nd.
In the South.
Oh, let me go down to the... Right, let me go down to the bottom and make sure I look at all the 22nd one. Upset in the South.
They have a very unlucky number. But...
You think Irvine going to beat Kansas State?
They're fixing to beat Kansas State. I caught them a couple times late.
I ain't seen Kansas State, so it wouldn't surprise me.
I've seen them a couple times late night on TV when I'm up, and they got a chance to do that.
Well, go with it.
So
that's not a.
That's my pick for upset. I'm hoping my boys, my Rebels.
I think Mississippi State gonna upset Virginia.
You better retract. You better retract what you say. Don't put that state on the end of that. What's wrong with you?
I mean Mississippi. Yeah, Mississippi gonna upset Virginia.
Yeah, I'm hoping they just have not been playing well. In the tournament, they did not look good.
Well, both of them didn't look good in the
Yeah,
tournament. Maybe they can turn
but I
around.
really believe that that's a winnable game for them. Virginia is a very winnable game. And I'm hoping they make a run because I would love to see them in a rematch with Tennessee in the Elite Eight. That would be everything would have to fall right for them for it to be that way.
But
But
if they beat, ooh, like if you got Irvin winning, Wisconsin didn't look scary. I saw Wisconsin get beat up by whoever they were playing.
Wisconsin is the same team they always are.
So I mean, they could come out of that bracket.
Oregon is playing well, so Oregon could possibly even upset Wisconsin. I mean, they
Right,
did.
so that's what I'm saying. They could come out of that bracket, because Virginia don't look scary to me at all. They look
No.
awful. In fact, whoever the kid that's their shooter, he was okay, but I was like, where's the kid that got hurt last year that was supposed to help them before they got that 116 loss last year? Way to go, Virginia.
Yeah.
I don't know if we forgiving them for that.
I don't foresee that happening again because I don't believe Gardner Webb is.
Well, no, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Right.
But I ain't forgot that it happened, and
Yeah.
they were the team that did it in a way.
But I have right now in pencil. I have Tennessee coming out of the South.
Got them penciled in.
Moving down to the Midwest. You know I'm not going against UNC. I don't care who else is in this bracket. I got UNC coming out the Midwest, but this is.
See, he been messy. Let's see. I don't know. Kentucky. Let's see who else over here.
Kentucky's in there. Wofford has if Kentucky don't come right, if they meet Wofford in the second round, Wofford could beat them. Wofford has exactly what you need come tournament time. They got shooters and they play defense.
They got any size. Kentucky them pretty long.
They're decently sized. They don't have the size Kentucky. They don't have as many as the size Kentucky have, but they do have some decent size. Again, my upset pick for this.
Auburn playing well though, Brian.
Auburn is playing very well. And this is the Auburn that everybody was expecting all year long. They're finally playing up to their potential.
I don't know if they're going to come back down to earth, but...
I feel like they're going to run through New Mexico State. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Kansas is going to be in the second round. Kansas, Bill Self is fixing to be in the... That could be your Lakers coach next year. Bill Self
is a lie.
Bill Self is fixing to be in the NBA because he's not going to be able to coach college anymore after this season because he's caught up in this mess too, and it's really really bad on his end.
Somebody that don't have no integrity. I ain't got time. We got enough drama. We don't need a college coach. That's not gonna happen. And LeBron is not about to listen to no college coach for sure.
But I've seen Northeastern.
You got North Carolina. Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I've seen Northeastern a few times this year, so they are very capable of beating Kansas because Kansas is just not playing well, and their kids are basically kind of thrown in the towel. It seems like
they're ready to go to the league.
Right, the ones that are eligible, and he never did get that one boy eligible. I wish the men sometimes would do like the women and play at a certain site because I'd love to see Utah State. That for anybody who is a basketball fan, once in your life, go to a men's game at Utah State. It is worth it. You would love the crowd, the way they do their little chanting before the game. I believe that we will win. It is so loud. It's something awesome.
You know what? Utah State might give y'all some.
It's gonna be a fight.
Because I saw them, they are pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them. Who did they beat? I saw them play somebody during this tournament time.
Right.
Yeah, they are pretty solid.
But no, but UNC is my pick.
So who you got in the Final Four?
Duke, Florida, Tennessee, and Pencil, and UNC.
That's hilarious.
And which I have Duke and North Carolina part 4, and I got Carolina.
That would be awful.
Yeah.
I'm tired of saying that.
I didn't want to do it,
Even
Look,
though Zion, if my Gators make it that far, I'll just be happy because they don't have nothing. They ain't gonna be able to stop Zion from doing nothing. Not that anybody has besides the shoe. The shoe, the only thing that
the
can stop him.
the shoe is the only thing that can slow him down.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Shout out to Paul George. Anyway.
Well, Paul George, no shouts out for you, Mister. I don't want to play for the Lakers, and that's why they took your shoe and gave him Kyrie's shoe after he came back from injury. Ha ha. Now your shoe got a bad stain on it, and they don't care.
You have anything else you want to add before we go on to the women's bracket?
Go Gators. Howdy tidy.
Go Gators. Howdy tidy. Yes, please, thank you. But in the women,
let me go to my next bracket. All right, here we go.
Women, let me switch over. All right. Number 1 overall seed, Baylor. First of all, before we get started, shame on ESPN. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Now, first of all, the women already, y'all claim y'all doing something special to them for giving them their own day on Monday, but you still talking nothing but men on all your main channels. You give the women an hour on the main ESPN, and then you shove them over to ESPNU, and everybody knows ESPNU is the fourth of all your children on your network.
Oh no!
And I'm just forget that. How in the world is somebody? I hope somebody got fired over this leaked bracket incident. When I'm sitting there watching the men bracket run down, they Vital them on the screen, and all of a sudden the women's bracket pops up on the side of the TV. It's just so disrespectful. All these teams sitting there having their little viewing party, wanting to get excited about being in the tournament, and y'all took that from them. I love the fact that all these
teams. Was it up there?
It was up there for a good minute. Like most of the teams were yeah. I think it pretty much ran through every team.
Go and see if a YouTuber called it.
But I love the teams that were kind of like didn't know if they were gonna make it or not. They had their little videos of them celebrating, even though they already knew they were in. They still did.
And I was like, why are they? This is so phony. Like, why are y'all jumping up and clapping like y'all happy about something? Y'all should be somewhere eating and just whoever the coach is getting all the video, because you know how they get footage for all the team in that bracket,
right? And
decide what coach gonna scout which teams. The rest of this is y'all need to stop. Only a few teams were actually excited. I mean, surprised. Florida. But Florida didn't do a thing because they probably didn't think they was gonna make it. Because you didn't see them when they popped up Florida's name, showed Florida's reaction. Like some of the teams, like we'll watch it at the coach's house or wherever, and we don't need cameras because we don't want the sad face if we don't make it.
Right. But
nobody got it. Oh, go ahead. I was looking for the lead.
I know. In the Greensboro bracket, Baylor, obviously number 1 seed. Kehlani Brown, PJ Brown's daughter, that that you and I saw back when she was just
a tyke,
just a scrawny, not scrawny. She wasn't short by no means, but she was real scraggly, real skinny, 8th grader. But I knew then she was gonna be okay. But she has turned out to be a heck of a player. I have them coming out of this. South Carolina is there, but South Carolina is 1 year away from being back to what they were. Because when they get Aaliyah Boston in there, this freshman they're gonna have next year. She's special.
No, that might not be the kid that got. Is that the kid that got in trouble for?
No,
taking money from the list.
That was Mariah Davenport. She's going to Rutgers next year.
Oh, okay. I just knew she was big and supposed to be good. I hadn't really seen her.
Yes. This bracket for Baylor to be I thought they were the number 1 overall seed. I think that's what they said, but
I think I who got the kid with the like African name?
Oh, Gumbawale, Notre Dame.
Yeah, I thought Notre Dame might have been the
They
over.
that might be make more sense. I'm just thinking Baylor was, but I'm looking at this
No,
bracket.
I think it was Notre Dame.
I mean, Baylor's got a tough road because Cal, UNC in the 8-9 game, Florida State's there, South Carolina, Kentucky, NC State is going to be tough for anybody to get out. Missouri and Iowa with Megan Gustafson.
No, it say Baylor was number 1 overall.
Okay,
I mean, they just gave them a crappy bracket.
They did because I'm telling you, the 2 seed Iowa is going to give them trouble if they make it. They're gonna have problems getting by Missouri because Missouri is a more complete team. But Megan Gustafson with Iowa is a beast.
Well, I mean the women's bracket normally different now that UConn kind of fell back into the pack.
A 2 seed. The UConn ain't been a 2 seed since Gino had all brown hair.
Right. Since he was tripping about the SEC not being that good. That always bothered me. And that's why I never liked him. Go ahead. And this was before the SEC that you guys know.
Yes.
This is the SEC of Pat Summit.
Yes.
The early Pat and middle Pat, not the late Pat.
back when Pat had all brown hair too. Yeah, I got Baylor coming out of the Greensboro region. Okay, moving right along to the south. I'm gonna call this the south.
Going to which bracket? We going down to Portland.
We're gonna go down to the Portland region. Mississippi State, number 1 overall seed, I believe. Even though
this might be their year, I don't even like State, but
this is the best team he's had since he's been there, and he is in big shape for it. Pronouns.
Right.
I believe this is going to be the year that they make it over the hump.
Yeah, this might be their year.
It'd be
and
interesting.
I ain't gonna be too mad. I mean, Mississippi needs something good to happen for the state.
I mean, one of their few losses came against Oregon earlier this season, and that's who they would
they
play.
Lost for twice. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oregon is the 2 seed in this region, so I would love to see a rematch with them.
I don't want them to expend a lot of energy like they did the year they beat UConn for South Carolina, because South Carolina would not have beat UConn that year.
Yeah, that game was so emotional. You would have thought they won the championship that night. It was so emotional. But I would love to see a second round matchup, and I'm gonna go ahead and put Amanda and them over South Dakota, Clemson over South Dakota, and put them playing.
Because they orange and blue and there's a Gator coach, so we can go with that.
They're not gonna beat Mississippi State, but that would be an interesting.
Well, no, they're not. But they as offense as they were last year.
So good to see them in the tournament.
Amanda Butler won Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I'll never forget. I have to tell this story right now. This second, the first time I ever met her down there in New Orleans at the Bayou basketball in the Bayou AAU tournament. And Renee introduced me to her, and I said, "Yeah, I've heard a lot about you. T tells me that you were her point guard when y'all played in Florida." And she looked at me, and like her face went from smile to almost scowl. And you could tell it was a smart aleck scowl. She was being, jokingly, but it was still like with some half seriousness in it. She went, no, you have that wrong. T was my point. It was my forward. And I went, oh.
Tell Amanda she know the rules. She know the truth.
Yes. But rounding out the rest of that bracket, Arizona State and UCF's gonna be a tough out for them. I've seen Central Florida play a couple times this year. They got things.
Who's that coach?
I can't. Oh gosh, I can't think of her name. Abraham something. It's got like a hyphenated name.
Oh.
But she has got them turned around since what's her name that was there? Joy.
There's some. Yeah.
I don't even know. I wonder if she's still coaching.
Was there another coach between Joy and
I believe there was, if I'm correct, but I think there was in between.
Shout out Margie.
That was my next year. Margie and Miami going in there. I think they'll take care of Florida Gulf Coast. They've been very good this year. I was sad to see them get a 4 seed. I thought they were much better than the 4 seed all year long. But
well, this is the thing about I haven't seen Gulf Coast, and they probably just athletically they just probably gonna dominate them. But those are the games when you have somebody that play in your state, and you kind of be like, oh, we should beat them. We're gonna beat them, and then you get out there and find yourself in a dogfight.
They should have just
Miami don't be playing, and I don't really care. But that's what'll happen with them kind of games.
I think Florida State in this tournament somewhere. They should
They
have
at
just
the top. They gonna get beat up by Baylor.
Yeah, but they should have put Florida State down here. And they got them in the 5-12 in the Greensboro bracket. They should have put them in the 5-12 in the Portland bracket and just put the whole state of Florida in one darn region.
Yeah, then nobody had to travel.
Yeah. But then go down to, as much as I love the Jackrabbits, I'm never picking against Quinnipiac ever again in life.
Why?
That woman, every year I pick against Quinnipiac and they always wind up beat somebody.
I think you're the first person I ever heard say how that's pronounced. I don't think I've ever tried.
Oh, don't worry. I didn't know a few years ago. This was me watching them on TV as they were upset. I think it was Miami, honestly. I want to say it was Miami a couple years ago. They upset Miami. And I was sitting there thinking, I would have never picked them in 1,000 years. Not that I would have ever saw them, I wouldn't have ever seen them play, so I wouldn't have known if they were any good at all. Speaking of, didn't know if they was any good at all. Shout out to Fordham for making the tournament and his complete turnaround, because Fordham was that team that everybody was beating up on for years. I remember we played them in a Tulane tournament. The year we went.
Jackrabbit.
Huh? Oh, you talking about South Dakota State? Listen to you.
Yes.
Listen to you.
I got distracted.
Yes.
Go ahead.
But Fordham's not gonna beat Syracuse. But shout out to them for being in the tournament and completely changing.
Y'all made it to the tournament, people.
Yes, because they were the doormat for everybody for many years.
That's the wrong year.
And then down playing in the Eugene, Oregon piece, Oregon and I got Texas. No, do I have Texas? Yeah, Texas. Even though Indiana, it's gonna be a tough out for Texas.
I just asked this machine for 2017-18. Y'all gave me the wrong schedule. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Oregon, I got Oregon against Mississippi State in the Elite Eight of that one, and then I got State moving on.
I like to move it.
Coming up to the Chicago region, I got Notre Dame moving on in this one, but a lot of interesting games besides them gonna happen in this one. I like Stanford and Auburn to play against each other down at the bottom in the 2-10 matchup, and Auburn's gonna give them some trouble because Unique Thompson, the forward for Auburn,
I'm unique.
Yeah. She's unique.
What movie is that? No, what is that? Ain't that a movie? I'm unique.
I'm unique. I think it is.
What does the name of somebody? Okay, I'm sorry, I got distracted. Go ahead.
Yes, T is full on ADD moment in this this Wednesday morning. Iowa State is going to be another tough out. I got them moving on to play. I got them playing Stanford in the Sweet 16. Texas A&M, I would love to put them in the Sweet 16 and with a matchup against Notre Dame, but I don't know if Kennedy Carter. I don't know if she's going to be healthy. She didn't play in the SEC tournament. Don't know how her wrist is. I know they were holding her out because of that.
She had a wrist, shooting wrist?
She had a surgery on her shooting hand, yes.
That ain't no good.
So if she's healthy, I'd like them to meet Notre Dame in the Sweet 16. I think Notre Dame is way too talented. So I got Notre Dame winning this bracket. And here in the next one, if State don't win, this next bracket has the team that I would love to actually win the championship this year, and that's Jeff Walls in Louisville, number 1 seed. I really would like to see him get a championship.
Why we want to see him get a championship?
I just like Coach Walls. Go
ahead.
I just like him, and I got him coming out of that bracket, obviously, but the corporal matchups. UConn against Tennessee, a possibility.
No, UConn they bracket easy. Look at this bracket. Tennessee awful. I don't know. I hadn't seen Maryland.
They're decent, but they are beatable. And if Tennessee plays to the potential of their players, have they
We're
not?
gonna start with this.
I know. But if they do, they can make a run and play UConn in the Sweet 16.
We're gonna stop this right here.
And I'm gonna tell you a team to look out for: Oregon State. I love the Beavers. Them girls. They play hard. They play tough. They got good shooting, good defense. Exactly what you need for a tournament run. Arkansas Little Rock has literally one player. They should not be here today. South Alabama should have won that game the other day, and UALR ought to be in the NIT, but that's another story for another time.
They won they conference championship,
and they were the number one seed in the conference. But they have one player, and she is a. Let me not call some kid out for being a punk, but she's a punk, and she just has this attitude about her. I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but she just.
What did she do?
Oh, maybe it was just a game where she was just having a bad attitude moment, and it just stuck with her the whole game. But South Alabama, I thought, really had a nice run. And they were a 7th seed, and even though they were not, their record was not indicative of the team they were. I've seen them play a couple times this year, and they beat a very good Troy team. Troy is also another team from the Sun Belt that should be playing in the tournament. But
tell me this: did they drop Arkansas Little Rock as their name and just became Little Rock?
They just basically go by UALR now.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Because all I see is Little Rock Trojans, like they trying to forget they from Arkansas. Am I making this ain't Arkansas?
It is. That's them.
Okay. We gonna go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. They can do what they want.
I guess they just playing off the assumption that you know that Little Rock is from Arkansas.
They need not to do that.
But no, my Final Four, I have Louisville, Notre Dame, Baylor, Mississippi State, all 1 seeds. And I have State and Louisville playing in the championship game. And I got Coach Walls actually beating State this year. That State escaped them last year.
That's just your hate coming through.
It is, probably.
Let it go, man.
Look, it probably is. But no, last year, Jeff Walls them should have beaten State. They got that bad foul call right at the end. And,
well, Florida got a cost of that half court too.
Yes. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. And at the end of that Michigan State game, they missed the call. The kid clearly raked his arm across the kid's body because he was fouling because they had a foul to Gill, I believe. And the kid shot a airball 3 because of it. They ain't called anything. I was like, this is so off. Y'all got to do better than this. I would just like to say on record that I wish, while the replay has its place, I'm getting tired of replays. Like, we replaying everything, and I'm just like, live with the call, good, bad, and different. Like, if you're not going to replay that you missed the call, stop taking 10 minutes to go look and see if the ball went out of bounds on whoever.
Yeah, they spent way too much time over there.
I was just like, I'm so tired of replays. Stay over there for 10 hours trying to talk, for 15 hours trying to figure out, 24 hours trying to figure out who the ball went out on.
Yeah, but that's going to be
36 hours.
It just takes way too long. Way too long. And they need to do something about it in football as well. It takes way too long in football.
Yeah, replays. All replays. I'm just getting tired of it.
Well, do you have anything else you want to?
I would like to say, I was reading a book, and I would like to give a shout out to Lusia Harris. Her maiden name is Harris, but she married somebody named Stewart. Because I don't think that people know, and this blends in with what we've been talking about, women's basketball, that she was a star at Delta State and won 3 AIAW championships, which became the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
But they won 3 consecutive championships, and for some reason the NBA just decided kind of to look over her when they, did the salute to women's basketball. The WNBA, I'm sorry. Like, they just jumped to Lieberman Klein and some other person and was just like, And so the person in this book did an interview of her because I'm pretty sure she's still alive. But when he wrote the book, she was clearly alive. And she was like, yeah, she was hurt by that. And I don't understand why. Well, I do understand why, but it's another story for another time. But I think that that's just disrespectful because Delta State, like they were a powerhouse.
Yeah, they were Tennessee and UConn before Tennessee and UConn. I mean, they were a dynasty. My mother played against them when she was in college. My dad and tells me stories all the time. They were a powerhouse, like you said.
And she even got drafted in the NBA in the 7th round or something. But she didn't go because she was like, she knew it was like a publicity stunt, basically. And she ain't had time for the foolishness. But shame on the WNBA for that.
Yeah, because she is definitely one of the pioneers that always needs to be mentioned when it comes to women's basketball.
The New Orleans Jazz selected her in the 7th round. 1977.
Can you imagine if the NBA had 7 rounds now?
Yeah, we would be here all day.
That's a lot of suits.
All day. Yeah, that's way a lot. Yeah, she won. She won the MVP of the tournament those 3 times and was an All-American 3 times. Anyway, shout out to Lusia Harris, Mississippi native.
Yes, she is.
Down in the Delta.
Still alive, still kicking, and I actually went to school with her daughter at Ole Miss. She's on the track team. She did the shot put for the track team at Ole Miss.
Interesting.
Yes.
So yeah, Lucille, shout out. Interesting. The world is I guess I couldn't expect it'd be too small. I mean, it is Mississippi. You are Mississippi. So, but the world is smaller. That you say you know the daughter.
Yes. Shout out to Crystal.
That's hilarious.
I believe she's a principal down in some high school in Louisiana. And her husband is football coach. Used to play football at Ole Miss.
Yeah, the mom, she was 6'3". Pat Summitt even talked about how she was the real deal. In that book, he talked about, because he had some quotes from Pat Summitt too about her and all. But yeah.
Yes, but no, shout out to her for real, because she was the truth. But no, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us today. Because as always, I am one of your co-hosts, Brian Mackay, and I am with
T. God is good all the time, Davis.
Yes, and this has been the Mac and T Show podcast. Happy March Madness, everyone.
And happy first day of spring.
What time is it?
Thank you, Jesus. I'm tired of the cold weather.
This is the Mac and T Show. This is the Mac and T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah, you can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mac and T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mac and T Show.